Hi everyone. Well, as has just been introduced, my name's Sam. Thank you very much for coming into this session. I'm SVP of Account Management at Whalar, and for any of you that don't know us, we're a global creator commerce company, and I do have to do a bit of a humble brag. This year we've been named Creator Agency of the Year by Adweek, Ad Age, and Campaign. Woohoo! Thank you, Whalar people. And this is just fantastic recognition in what is potentially the most exciting time for the creator economy. Now, a lot of you have probably known this has been quite a buzzworthy topic, probably for about the last decade, but it really is the recent shifts in the business landscape that's encouraging more marketeers to put bigger allocations of budget, time, and resource into their creator campaigns. But what we really need to think about is that as momentum builds, businesses need to recognize that for effective creator marketing, you need to move beyond. It's not just a trend, it's a business strategy. And it's something that can really help weather these uncertain times. So over the next 10 minutes, I'm just going to take you through what the headlines are and the key strategies that you need to know in order to get creator ready. No surprise, everything's changed, and it continues to change at pace, both the ad market dynamics and the audience trends. 55% of Gen Z audiences are watching 0 hours of ad-supported TV, with 45% preferring social video. So this means, as a marketeer, how do you adapt your plans to reach these audiences? Audiences that require an enormous amount of content that's entertaining, platform-specific, and can support brand messaging. And this is really where creators become pivotal to today's marketing toolkit. As in order to reach Gen Z, you really need to go through creators. This, in turn, is leading to a huge economy. I would say this is probably a conservative estimate at 100 billion that it's valued at now. And it's just full of amazing creators, businesses, entrepreneurs who are building all of this massive social ecosystem around social audiences, communities, commerce, and culture. So to be in it, you really need to know the rules of engagement, know how to participate, and understand the communities. And this is really where it's moving from what was influencer tactics into more nuanced creator strategies. And it's about delivering content that is tailored to people's passions, but doing that at scale. This can seem a lot to think about. There's a lot to do. But this really is where creators are your teammates. So our chairman, John Hegarty, he very much speaks about principles remaining the same. It's the practices that change. And the brands that are really killing it today, they're the ones that are winning on social. They're the ones that are having people spend time with their brand, use their products in new ways, and really engage. So what do you need to know in order to get creator ready? So I'm going to give you 3 sort of top tips that I'd like you to take away from today. The first one is about operating in the culture, not the category. Now, we all know mainstream culture has changed and that it's TikTok that we have to thank for this. Social media really thrives on self-expression, and there's like a community for literally like every passion, personality, anything that you're into. I will have a little bit of a geek moment in that I do like clean talk and a bit of Sylvanian drama going on. And really to understand where the culture is coming from, it's spiraling from the ground up, from these niche communities and the diverse creators that are setting the trends within there. So from a brand perspective, you don't need to go and create a new brand persona to engage on social. You just need to find the creators that are right for you and partner with them. So how do you find them? First, you need to know where your audience are. Look at the communities that your audience are in. Understand the intersections, also how they coexist with each other. And I would advise you, just go and immerse yourself in different platforms as well, because it really isn't a case that one size fits all. And don't restrict yourself to the obvious either. Not just the communities where your brand has an affinity to play, but also have a think about those unexpected places that you could show up, have a little bit of fun, but ultimately you could find new audiences as well. One thing that we always say as well is be curious and read the comments. There's so much stuff that's within the comments that you can learn as a brand. And it's the creators that are the hosts of these communities. And it's their voices that you can leverage for your brand message. They're the ones that can highlight the product features, how it's important to them in their work and in their side hustles and passions. Now, just a couple of examples for you here. On the left, we have Under Armour, who build partnerships with long-term partnerships as well, with creators who embody sport and their human performance brand system values. By working long-term with these creators, they're showing their commitment to the creator and their community, which in turn fuels trust and time spent and encourages participation. Most important thing is trying to stop the scroll as well. And this is where creativity using transitions and visual effects can really stop the scroll. Now on the third, I've got an example here that I just wanted to share with you because we had a bit of a debate about this at concepting stage. And this is really about knowing your community that you're talking to. So the debate was around, is it too fast, the voiceover too fast, too much happening on screen as well? But the creator, she was adamant that this is going to work. I know my audience, I'm confident. So I'm just going to play it for you now and see what you think.
What do we wear today that kids in the future will say, did people really wear that? Since the beginning of humanity, fashion has always been a response to history, with Google Arts and Culture. Early days were mostly about survival. You could opt for some leaves or fox fur for a chic look. Now it's the Renaissance, and the rich were riching, dressing in tall wigs, huge skirts, and men wore heels, and I don't mean a kitten heel. The clothes reflect a massive difference in wealth, and a storm was brewing. The poor said, wait a minute, we hate the rich people. Let's chop off their heads and their wigs and their heels and their giant skirt. Now it's the Industrial Revolution. More fabric, much faster. Rich people go back to big skirts. There's a pattern here, women in corsets. And what does this mean? With corsets so tight, it's almost like it represented something. Stay.
Okay, so that's just a 30-second clip from an 80-second piece of content. And that went on to have 700,000 views just in the first few days. So it really shows it's about trusting the creator's knowledge in their community. As Claire Thomas said at Cannes the other week, we've found an opportunity to build our own platforms where our audience knows us, trust us. And this brings me on to the second top tip for you, and it's about embracing creators' unique perspectives. They bring a realness to messaging, and they can look at how to have your tone of voice. They can help you with that. And I've got an example here from De Beers about collaborating for creative synergy and how they could reach new audiences by tapping into creators. Obviously, it's quite a traditional brand, but what they wanted to do was iconize their enchanted lotus motif, which is a key piece of their recent collection. They obviously gave clear brand guidance in terms of what the motif should look like, but they gave creators full freedom to infuse their own style and leverage platform trends as well. So I'm going to share some examples with you. I'm conscious the one I'm going to show you now is mid-afternoon, so if you're hungry, you might be a little bit more at the end of this. There's just a really nice bit of ASMR there at the end. And this second example, obviously, it's the same brief. It's just really tapping into that animation trend, and it's just beautifully serene. It's really nice, isn't it? So on social, you need to have lots of different skill sets and diverse types of thinking to really innovate. And again, this is where creators can be your secret sauce. They need to stay ahead of the platform trends. They need to understand all the platform changes that are happening and how they can tap into individual platforms. In this example from eBay, we have YouTuber Matt Armstrong. On the first piece, he's creating 25-minute pieces of content, long-form content, showing a full restoration project for his community on YouTube, who he knows would be very much engaged with this. Whilst on TikTok, he's taking much simpler fixes, making it short, snappy, and engaging. So it's the same overarching story, but they're just using different executions to make sure they can reach the different communities. Use of sound. We all know music has such an influence across lots of things, and it can be used in lots of different ways. And the platforms do still have some nuances between how it can be used. And I really wanted to share this example from Oatly with you, just to demonstrate the point. So Oatly, this again is the same campaign. It's two chefs. They're both on TikTok and for Instagram. And in this example on the left-hand side for Eliane, he uses the Instagram music library just to enhance the sound of his. It's a skill-based reel, so he's using it to enhance the sound rather than it being a core factor within the content. I'm going to play this for you now so that you can see. pretty cool, isn't it? So the next one, we know that 79% of TikTok users, they say that they prefer it when a brand creates for their platform. And this one is, I'm going to caveat it with, this is a little bit of a personal favourite. Willie's a creator who uses captions across the majority of his content. But for this campaign, he wanted to push it that bit further and create a bespoke track for TikTok. It's super catchy, it's really highly visual, and he keeps captions so that people from an accessibility point of view can follow along as well. Now, this content is a little bit longer, but I think it's worth the wait, so let me share this with you now.
There's a drink that comes in a cardboard box. In the fridgy section when you go to the shops. And hiding itself on the long life shelf. Most people use it in their coffee or tea. But there's many more uses, can't you see? You can get things creamy in a roux. If you make it juicy sauce, it's a thing to do. You can get a bit groovy and put it in a smoothie. Or fill up the bathtub and pop on a movie. You can neck a pint neat if you're feeling Thursday. Put it in a cake batter on your birthday. Oatly works in almost everything. Oh, there's not much I will put it in. Oatly, it's a lovely oaty drink. Oh, what else can you do? Let's have a think. You can put it in a cocktail with coffee-based liqueur. Enjoy an oaty paddling pool while listening to The Cure. You can put it in the petrol hole of your new red car. But don't expect the car to run and take you very far. Oatly works in almost everything. Oh, there's not much I won't put it in. Oatly, it's a lovely oaty drink. Oh, what else can you do? Let's have a think.
Hopefully that's all given you a bit of earworm for the rest of the afternoon, and just makes me smile, that one. That's had 20 million views so far and counting. So one thing that I would really urge you all to do is think about how you can use creators beyond your social strategies and how you can think about them from a 360 approach. Obviously, you can use them work with them from an organic content creation and creator amplification, but what about thinking about how you can use them in your ad production that can then be used in brand communications wider. You can use them have them in real life and point of sale events, but also think about creators as advisors. They can help advise you on what's hot and new and bubbling and going on within culture, but they can also give you product feedback as well. The possibilities there really are endless. And that brings me to my third point, which is pretty much simply scale and learn and iterate. Working with creators in multiple communities, it is possible to scale this. If you operationalize it in the right way, you can create this flywheel. This is working with the right creators that make the content that is relevant for me. People spend time with the brands, they're engaged. Time spent fuels trust. They're then looking to try the products. They try the products, they again take it, share it and discuss it, and then the community can run with it. If you just think of the comment reply and how that builds, when the algorithms start to see interaction, that's when the flywheel kicks in, the content gets more engaging, gets more relevant, and all keep going round. And creator content, it delivers business results, it works. We've recently completed a study over 20 CPG campaigns, and the results are pretty impressive. We found that 2.4% ROI was achieved, and that was the ROI increasing year on year when the investment increased. It shows that creators are a really valued part of media investments. And there were two things that were driving that. One was efficiency. The campaigns demonstrated a 50% lower CPM than other social channels. And media impact as well. For just 0.7% of total investment, it delivered 2.6% of total sales. So what that means is that creators should be brought into the conversation earlier before media plans are finalized. Think too about if you work with a diverse group of creators, how much bigger you can make your organic reach, and then you supercharge that within creator amplification, and that really moves the needle for your sales and volume. So what this really means to the modern marketeer is that market saturation is a long way off. The community and the creator economy is continuing to explode, so don't get left behind. Think about the 3 top tips if you take these away with you today. Operate in the culture, not the category. Embrace creators' unique perspectives. Scale, learn, and most importantly, just have some fun while you're doing it. This is a really exciting space to be in. And thank you.